Hey, what is going on guys? My name is Gamertag and I'm back for another Fortnite video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how you can actually get stretched resolution on console. So this of course will work for both Xbox One as well as PlayStation 4. I've had a lot of new subscribers in around the past month or so, and most of you guys actually do play on one of the console platforms. So I figured I would actually share with you guys this little known fact of how you can get stretched res on both Xbox One as well as PlayStation 4. So I'll firstly share with you guys basically the methods on going about how to get stretch res on Fortnite, and then also after this I'll then discuss some of the benefits, pros, and advantages that you will see when using the stretch resolution on Xbox One or PlayStation 4 Fortnite. Obviously, stretch resolution initially gained its traction and popularity on PC Fortnite, and a lot of players are completely unaware of the fact that this can actually be used on console as well. In fact, I did use it for a few months when I did play on Xbox One, but now I play on PC with a controller. Regardless though, it's actually a relatively simple method on how to get it for both consoles, so let's go ahead and start with Xbox One first. Now Xbox One actually has two methods of going about getting stretch res, believe it or not, whereas PlayStation 4 there's only one method. However, it is relatively straightforward. Now I will actually have to show the video in the background using my iPhone camera, simply because the capture device that I use for Xbox One is actually unable to capture, or record rather, the stretch resolution. So that's the main reason why you guys will see the quality change when I do switch over to my iPhone camera. But regardless, let's go ahead and talk about the method for Xbox One. So basically all you need to do is you simply want to press the Xbox home button, go over all the way to the right to system, then click on settings. Then over at general, we're going to go down to where it says TV and display options. Over to the right advanced tab, we're going to click on the middle option, which should say video fidelity and overscan. So right here, the first option under display is actually going to be overrides. So there's going to be two options. It's going to be HDMI as well as DVI. So go ahead and click on this and switch it to the one that you do not have it set to. So for most of you guys, it'll already be set to HDMI. So you want to click on it and then switch it over to DVI. And believe it or not, right after doing this, you will automatically see that it has now changed over to the stretch resolution form on your Xbox One console. One of the things that you'll notice immediately, of course, besides the fact that it is now stretch res, is that there is a loss of quality, and obviously this is relatively inevitable. When you go to stretch resolution on PC, Xbox One, PS4, it doesn't matter. If you go from regular HD to stretch resolution, you are going to see a rather drastic change in the quality itself. So I just wanted to make that clear to you guys before you do make the switch over, that of course you will see a loss in the quality. Now I will say as well, if when you initially made the switch from HDMI to DVI in your overrides setting, if it doesn't switch over and you can't see your screen, like let's say it's black for whatever reason and nothing is showing on your screen, this simply just means that your monitor or TV is not able to display the resolution. So don't press any buttons if it stays on the black screen, and after 15 seconds it will actually go back to your regular HDMI settings. So again, this is only for the very small minority of people that will have this issue. I'd say maybe like 1 out of 100 people will even have this happen. And again, the only way really to fix this would be to go out and buy a new monitor that supports that resolution. However, I don't see that as being that necessary, especially for something that doesn't really affect your gameplay all that much. Now, if you would like to go back and switch to your regular non-stretch resolution, basically you're doing the exact same thing. You want to go to settings, go over to display, click on video fidelity and overscan, and from now we're actually going to switch it from DVI back to HDMI. Then go back to your general TV and display options in the obviously Xbox menu, and under display where it says resolution, you simply want to actually change this to the highest resolution that you can. For most people, it will either be 1080p or 720p. After doing this, you'll be back to your regular HD settings that you initially had. And again, this is simply if you just want to switch back to high definition. And for the people that aren't too fond and aren't big fans of the quality loss, obviously most people aren't, there's actually a way that you can slightly increase the quality and kind of almost get the regular HD quality back while still having the stretch resolution. So over in the video fidelity and overscan settings, over in the middle column where it says video fidelity, there's actually going to be an option that says color depth. So you'll see three different options. There's going to be 24 bits per pixel, 30 bits per pixel, and then the bottom one is 36 bits per pixel. So we want to go ahead and actually select the bottom option. Again, this is the 36 bits per pixel. And although I'm not entirely too sure what this does in specific, all I do know is that actually it does increase your quality when you are using the stretch resolution option. So it's not needed by any means, definitely not necessary for stretch res. However, it it does actually make the general quality just a little bit better, so you don't have to deal with the huge drastic loss in quality. So that's how you guys can actually go ahead and get stretch resolution on the Xbox One platform. Now for my PlayStation 4 players, this is actually how you guys can get stretch res on PS4. In my personal opinion, it's actually a lot more simple. So go ahead and go into the PlayStation menu, go over to settings, click where it says display and sound, and you're going to see an option that says display area settings. From here, there's going to be two options that you can do. You can either enlarge the screen, or you can also shrink the screen. And despite what probably most of you guys are thinking, believe it or not, we're actually going to be clicking shrink. So don't click enlarge, go ahead and click shrink as much as you possibly can. So shrink the screen as much as you can until it actually caps off and you can no longer do this. Now from here, you simply want to go ahead and apply this setting change. After doing so, you should actually now see that the stretch res is in effect on your PlayStation 4 platform. Once again, just like for my Xbox One players, if your screen is like black or simply the change doesn't even show up, this is likely due to the fact that your monitor or TV just doesn't support that resolution change. And unfortunately, the only way to troubleshoot this or even get it to work was to, again, go out and buy a brand new monitor or TV that supports the resolution change. And obviously that's your own personal opinion if you would like to do that. I honestly don't think it's definitely worth spending the $200 or so for a brand new monitor for stretch resolution on console. So again, that's how you guys can get it on both the Xbox One platform as well as the PlayStation 4. Now in regards to the benefits and advantages that you'll see from switching over to stretch res on your console Fortnite, basically, as you know, PC has like a huge list of benefits that they saw. They were able to obviously have better aim with wider hitboxes, input delay was far less, they had higher frames per second. Honestly, it was endless the amount of benefits that they saw. Whereas console, yes, you do get some benefits, but in comparison to PC, it's not that much. So first of all, obviously with console, you can never go higher than 60 frames per second on Fortnite. So we'll never ever see any more FPS added to Fortnite regardless of any change that we make. So unfortunately, we won't see an increase for FPS. With input delay, this is actually a very critical change and improvement that we'll be seeing when we're using stretch resolution on Fortnite. Basically, input delay refers to when you press a button on your controller and how long it takes for the console to register it. So if you have a lower input delay, basically that means that the game is reacting quicker. So let's say you take your shot or press right trigger to take your shot, the game will react immediately. So this does give you an advantage over other players. And I believe the reason that there is less input delay when using stretch resolution is simply because less stress and CPU is being used out of your console. So that's of course the first and probably main benefit you'll see is in general just the input delay time going way down. This will help you not only with aim and accuracy and outplaying people in 1v1, but it can also definitely speed up your editing and building speed a lot. And then now the next benefit for using stretch res on console is going to be wider hitboxes. Now obviously as it is, when you go to stretch resolution, the screen does appear stretched horizontally. So in general, players do appear a lot wider and larger. A lot of people say that this is more so a placebo effect just because in general you can't necessarily change the hitbox for Fortnite on console, and whether or not it is a placebo effect, I definitely did notice that I was landing a lot more of my shots. Again, this could be because it appears that a lot of the players are bigger and wider on the screen, or it could simply just be a placebo effect. But going off personal experience, when I did use stretch resolution for like the few weeks or months that I did on Xbox One, I definitely noticed that my accuracy did in fact see a rather drastic improvement. And I'm sure a lot of you guys will have relatively similar experiences. And then for the last and final benefit, again, this could also be placebo effect, but it is something I noticed immediately. And this is when I first made the switch to stretch resolution on my Xbox, my builds and edits were so much better. And not only just because of input delay, but I felt like in general, I was much more of a smoother and more fluent player. I was definitely being a lot more consistent with my builds and edits. And overall, I felt like my gameplay and game style did improve a lot when using stretch resolution. Again, this could simply be placebo effect or just because I was practicing more in comparison to when I wasn't using stretch resolution, but I do certainly think it is worth noting that myself, as well as a lot of other people I know that have used stretch res on console, did notice that they were a lot more consistent and fluent in their general game style. Now, basically that's it for today's video, guys. Again, we talked about stretch resolution and how you can get it on both Xbox One as well as PlayStation 4. Explain also if it's not working for you, the main reason behind it, and how you guys can go about fixing that. And then we also talked about the advantages, benefits, and pros that you'll be seeing on console, especially in comparison to the benefits that PC players had when they used stretch resolution. Now, whether or not you guys are going to be using this for quite some time is honestly your own personal preference. I know some people don't necessarily like the quality loss and simply can't get over that hurdle, and that's completely understandable. And of course, the other group of people certainly do not mind it and much more prefer playing on stretched resolution. Now, if you guys enjoyed today's video or found it helpful, a like would be beyond appreciated down below. And of course, on the contrary, if you genuinely disliked today's video, then feel free to leave a dislike as well. And if you're new around here and would like to see more daily Fortnite content like this in the future, feel free to subscribe as well as turning on those post notifications. Nonetheless, my name is Gamertag. Thank you all for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Adios.